Kathy Engelbert is in some serious hot water after more information is revealed that she sold a percentage of the WNBA.
Kathy Engelbert, the WNBA Commissioner, once praised for her audacious pledge to make $1 billion for the league. Business is currently involved in a storm that might destroy her legacy. According to explosive reports, she sold discreetly off a big portion of the league without making the terms available to the public or where the funds were spent. The action has blasted shockwaves through the basketball planet, inciting players' rage. League insiders and supporters, many are now requesting clarification and charging Engelbert with functioning behind closed doors and endangering the confidence she had previously established. Previously regarded as visionary, leadership has become a full-fledged crisis of credibility for both Engelbert and the actual WNBA.
This could not be getting worse for WNBA Commissioner Kathy Engelbert. It just did, because more people was digging up all type of things that she has been doing. Now, we got several things to talk about in this video. We got Kathy selling a percentage of the...
Fans are furious. Gamers experience caught off guard, and even team leaders are questioning in private Kathy Engelbert's guidance. The commissioner, who previously the WNBA has suddenly plummeted despite predicted growth into a crisis of trust. Reports charge the league with underestimating its own worth while concealing the reality of its money, transforming what was supposed to be a turning point into anarchy. The Engelberts' attempt to protect herself merely made worse, culminating in a public malfunction that left the basketball world was taken aback. Her behavior have damaged trust on all fronts, revealing significant flaws in the leagues, starting a foundation and quitting the WNBA, balancing a much-needed rebuild and complete collapse.
This that's currently going on got shadowed by the WNBA finals, because all of this information came out right before the game started, and a lot of people kind of sat on this information and pretty much ignored.
As the WNBA finals were about to begin, the league was slammed by a storm that nobody anticipated. Supporters were focused on the games, not realizing that in the background, there was a developing scandal that would rock the sport at its heart. The commissioner, Kathy Engelbert, once commended for her stability and vision, was abruptly charged with undermining the very league she said she would raise. What began as a social media silence, secret financial rumors erupted when front office sports were discovered. Unquestionable evidence. Their inquiry disclosed in 2022 that Engelbert had raised $75 million covertly by selling a 16% of the WNBA's ownership without transparent disclosure. Shockwaves were transmitted through both boardrooms and locker rooms, provoking anger over openness, responsibility, as well as trust. Engels, renowned for being the league's dependable, rapidly disintegrated, leaving players, proprietors, and admirers wondering if the WNBA's golden age had been founded on secrecy rather than advancement.
Now, a lot of people were saying that Kathy may not get fired. From what I'm hearing, she is, and this right here just might be the reason why. Justification to the reason why she gets fired. Instead, in 2022, she led a $75 million capital raise, selling a 16% stake in the WNBA in what the league said was an effort.
It was intended that the announcement would signal a momentous occasion for women's sports, an indication that the WNBA had at last joined the elite ranks of the investment world and development. It was praised by Engelbert as a revolutionary agreement that would increase marketing, modernize infrastructure, and raise player pay in general. However, as analysts dissected the layers, the math didn't add up. The $75 million. The league's investment was worth just $468 million, a startlingly small amount for its growing acceptance. What was intended to be a milestone celebration instead revealed serious concerns over the WNBA's leadership and financial vision.
It quickly became clear that the stake with an implied valuation of $468 million dramatically undervalued the league, and questions remain about how the $75 million was.
During a period when smaller firms such as Already Unmatched was securing estimates of about $340 million using just a small portion of the audience or legacy of the WNBA. The league's huge sale appeared far less like strategic expansion and much more despair. After the numbers were, insiders, supporters, and the general public all inquired the same urgent query: why sell such a significant percentage of the league for so not much? Gamers are already annoyed by low pay and few benefits were seen as a huge insult. Many people asked how could Engelbert so obviously undervalue a league containing many elite athletes, while also insisting that wasn't enough money to support increased compensate. The action not only undermined self-confidence in charge, but also increased conflicts between owners, players, and the office of the commissioner, revealing profound governmental rifts and igniting widespread indignation in the WNBA community.
It's looking spooky for Kathy and this whole $75 million.
YouTube videos, Twitter conversations, and forums remarks. A few fans started making assumptions. That expansion was not Engelbert's true goal. Not at all. It was strengthening her own command by inviting a small group of financiers who shared her inner. She had the ability to change the WNBA's power dynamics without looking for players' acceptance. As more information became available, an additional concerning level of stress emerged. The transaction brought in more than simply cash. It drastically changed the league possession. The 30-team owners in the NBA remained at about 42%. WNBA individual. Another 42% was under the authority of franchise owners. And the newly formed investing group, through the current capital offering of Engelbert, managed the remaining 16%, providing them substantial impact on the league choices. Fans were worried by this change. Insiders and players igniting broad apprehension regarding transparency, governance, as well as the course of the league.
WNBA stakeholders are divided into three groups. The NBA 30 owners controls 42% of the league. The WNBA owners controls another 42%, and the remaining 50% is owned by investors from capital raise. Owners like Ted, whoever, Joe, whoever, and Herb Simon. That's who currently own the Indiana Fever. All of whom own NBA teams, which WNBA teams and were part of capital raise, now have different stakes in the WNBA. Now, all of this is simply because Kathy decided to sell 16%.
That, although 16% may not seem like much in the competitive realm of professional sports company, it provided these external investors have a significant impact on important choices that impact players, sources of income, and upcoming media agreements. Chaos broke out as soon as that truth set in. Across the league, the level of tension reached a peak in the finals of the WNBA when Engelbert took the stage to give a presentation. The award, only to encounter loud alcohol. The criticism wasn't regarding the game. It was so intimate. Supporters had become irritated with unreliable communications and unclear timing, and leadership couldn't have been worse. That instant solidified the growing mistrust amongst athletes, supporters. Additionally, insiders indicate that the WNBA's legitimacy, leadership, and the very future were now in grave danger.
Now, just like I stated in the beginning part, a lot of people don't feel like Kathy's going to get fired. I think she definitely is. Just like I stated, this right here could be grounds to do so. Ben Shea said, "Go be fair. The WNBA landscape has much different in 2022. Now people are chomping at the bit to invest and support." Yes. Now, I would say that, but So right now it's looking spooky. Somebody said I had a theory days ago, and my first paragraphs made me wonder about how things went from that to this.
The demise of Kathy Engelbert is seen as one of the most startling collapses in contemporary leadership in sports. An account of aspiration become a catastrophe. Her ambitious plan to make the WNBA a billion-dollar organization powerhouse descended into anarchy that was marked by, through covert transactions, player uprisings, and eroding confidence. The widely reported, the $75 million sale was formerly praised as Instead, the league's salvation was revealed in depth. Interior cracks, separating proprietors, alienating players, and causing significant sponsors for competing leagues such as unmatched. Currently, with NBA Commissioner, according to reports, Adam Silver stepped in. The WNBA is at a pivotal point. Resurrection or disaster. Fans want truthfulness. Investors demand equality. And players desire stability. What the league will do next will decide if this crisis becomes the last chapter or a rebirth of an unfulfilled promise. Now, the real question: does Kathy Engelbert have the ability to endure this catastrophe? Most people trust her. Fate has already been decided. The real issue is if the WNBA will ever bounce back from the immense harm she left behind, or if her erratic leadership style will be recalled as the time the league started to crumble under its own goals. Following the tumultuous finals, startling discoveries emerged, painting a much more sinister image than anyone anticipated. What began as hushed discussion of a straightforward investment soon fell apart, became a major controversy that destroyed Engelbert's legitimacy. According to the Front Office Sports report, the agreement of $75 million wasn't just an investment. It was straightforward. Power sale. Engel had moved 16% of the WNBA's shares to other parties. Investors, some of whom are connected to NBA owners, generating obvious conflicts of interest. This action made it harder to distinguish between development and exploitation, demonstrating how an agreement to guarantee the league's future rather than selling up its integrity and confidence for immediate financial relief. The anger was stoked by more than simply the transaction on its own. It was the total lack of disclosure all around it. Nobody is outdoors. Engelbert's tight circle was fully aware of where the $75 million was spent. She had pledged to completely modernize the WNBA. However, in the ensuing seasons, there wasn't much noticeable progress. The player, broadcast, and marketing little changed. There were few agreements, and the league infrastructure was well behind schedule. Anticipations. When obstinate reporters asked clarity, the confidentiality not only compromised trust but also increased polarization, leaving investors, players, and supporters thinking about whether the league's leadership genuinely has its own interests at heart. In the heart. For many, what Engelbert did seemed like an irresponsible gamble, making sacrifices a substantial amount of the WNBA's future for short-lived news stories, which she hailed as a daring capital increase. Insiders saw it as little more than a desperate attempt to raise money. The time couldn't have been worse. The direct sale, connected to the ongoing CBA discussions in which participants want bigger compensation and more openness. As of 2024, hostilities between the players' office and the commissioners. The marriage was at its breaking point. Already brittle public confidence started to degrade quickly. Prominent athletes started to publicly sharing content that raised the backroom negotiations of Engelbert. As fans, who defended her leadership in the past now requested that she quit immediately, even former executives began to speak anonymously, implying that her control-obsessed behavior had blinded, exposing her to the full possibilities of the league. The final straw was reached when a press-leaked memo